The ball slammed into the net like a gunshot, but it was his scream that shattered me, raw, guttural, echoing across the empty stadium as if the whole world had just caved in on him. I froze mid-stride on the sideline, my cleats digging into the turf, heart pounding not from the game we'd just won, but from the way he collapsed to his knees, clutching his ankle like it was the only thing holding his soul together. "Alex!" I yelled, dropping my water bottle and sprinting toward him, the crowd's cheers fading into a distant roar, because in that split second, I knew this wasn't just about the injury. It was about us, about the secret we'd buried deeper than any championship dream. He looked up at me through sweat-streaked hair, his green eyes wild with something sharper than pain. Fear. Don't say anything, Jamie," he gasped, his voice a ragged whisper that cut through the chaos like a knife. The team swarmed us then, coaches barking orders, medics rushing in with their kits, but all I could see was the boy I'd fallen for over late-night practices and stolen glances. The one who'd promised we'd face the world together once the season ended. By the time they wheeled him off the field on that stretcher, the stadium lights flickering on against the encroaching dusk of that crisp October evening in Ann Arbor, Michigan, I was already unraveling. We'd been here before, or so I thought, hiding in plain sight, our touches disguised as bro hugs, our laughs a code only we understood. But as the ambulance doors slammed shut, separating us under those harsh red lights, a cold dread settled in my gut. This wasn't just a twisted ankle. It was the crack in our fragile facade. The moment everything we'd built on whispers and what-ifs started to bleed out. I guess I should back up, because that night on the field wasn't where it all began. It was just the ugly unraveling of a story I'd convinced myself was destined for glory. My name's Jamie Harlan, and if you'd asked me a year ago what my life looked like, I'd have painted you a picture straight out of one of those feel-good sports movies. A lanky sophomore at the University of Michigan, majoring in sports journalism because I figured if I couldn't make it as a player, I'd at least chronicle the legends. I was the guy on the bench, the perpetual sub who warmed up during blowouts and fetched Gatorade like it was my calling. Not glamorous, but it kept me close to the game, close to the pulse of something bigger than my own insecurities. And then there was Alex Rivera, the golden boy of the Wolverines soccer team. Transferred in from some powerhouse program in California, he hit the ground running, literally. 6'1", built like he was carved from the same oak trees that lined our campus, with that effortless swagger that made freshmen swoon and coaches weep with joy. He scored hat tricks like it was breathing, dodged defenders with a grace that bordered on poetry. The sports pages called him the Phantom, because he'd vanish into the play and reappear with the ball in the net. But to me, he was more than a highlight reel. He was the spark that lit up the gray Michigan winters, the reason I dragged myself to 5 a.m. practices even when the wind off the Huron River clawed at my lungs. It started innocently enough, the way these things do in college towns where the air hums with possibility. Freshman year, I'd been out and proud in a quiet way. Rainbow laces on my sneakers during Pride Week, a Buy Flag sticker on my laptop that got me a few nods in the dorms but no real fireworks. Gay in Ann Arbor meant you could hold hands at the art fair without much fuss. But on the field, that was a different beast. Soccer was macho territory, all chest bumps and trash talk, and I kept my head down, cheering louder for the straight guys to prove I belonged. Alex changed that without even trying. Our first real conversation happened after a brutal loss to Ohio State. Rain pounding the pitch like it was trying to drown our sorrows. The team trudged back to the locker room, mud-caked and defeated, and I lingered by the door, towel in hand, pretending to organize gear. He slumped onto the bench, peeling off his soaked jersey, revealing the taut lines of his back tattooed with a soaring eagle freedom. He'd say later, inked during a rebellious summer back home. "Harlan, right? The writer kid." His voice was rough from shouting orders all game, but there was a warmth in it that pulled me in like a riptide. "Yeah, that's me. Jamie. Need a hand with that ice pack?" I nodded at his thigh, where a defender's cleat had left a nasty gash. He flashed that grin, the one that could melt stadium seats, and patted the spot next to him. "Sit. Tell me why a guy with your eye for the game wastes his time scribbling for the Daily instead of starting." I laughed, nervous, sliding down beside him. Our shoulders brushed, and something electric zipped through me, gone before I could name it. We talked for an hour that night, the locker room emptying around us, about everything from Pele's ghost to the pressure of being the diversity hire on a team full of legacy players. He opened up about his abuela in LA, how she'd sneak him churros before dawn practices, fueling his fire. I told him about my dad back in Detroit, a factory worker who'd never missed a Wolverines game but still whispered prayers I'd grow out of my phase. By the time the janitor kicked us out, the rain had stopped, and the stars punched holes in the clouds like they were rooting for us. From there, it snowballed. We'd grab coffee at Zingerman's before lectures, him dissecting plays while I jotted notes for my articles, slipping in questions about his life that felt less like journalism and more like confession. He was straight, or so the rumors went, dating a sorority girl named Becca for show, but there were moments. The way his hand lingered on my arm during a group huddle, the late-night texts about nothing and everything that ended with "Night, J. Sweet Dreams." I told myself it was friendship, the kind forged in sweat and shared defeats, but deep down, I was falling hard and irreversible. Spring semester brought the thaw, and with it, our first real risk. The team was gunning for nationals, practices ramping up to fever pitch under Coach Harlan. No relation, thank God. A grizzled ex-pro with a bark that could curdle milk. Alex was the engine, me the spare part, but he'd pull me into drills, yelling, "Harlan, cover me like you mean it." Our feet tangled once during a scrimmage, bodies colliding in a tangle of limbs that left us both breathless on the grass. The guy's catcalled, but his eyes met mine, holding just a beat too long, and I swear the sun dimmed around us. That night, we ended up at his off-campus apartment. A cramped one-bedroom in Carytown smelling of takeout pad thai and his cedar cologne. Becca was studying abroad for the summer early, a convenient out, and the place felt like a sanctuary. We sprawled on his futon, replaying the drill on his laptop, beers cracking open as the clock ticked past midnight. "You're good, you know that?" he said suddenly, pausing the video. His knee pressed against mine, warm through our sweats. "Not just the game. You see people. Really see them." My throat went dry. "Comes with the territory. Gotta read between the lines." He turned, face inches away, the room shrinking to just us. "What do you see in me, then?" "Everything." The vulnerability he hid behind that phantom mask, the loneliness of being the star who couldn't drop the ball off-field. I leaned in, heart hammering, and kissed him. It was soft at first, tentative, like testing thin ice. Then he surged back, hands cupping my face, and it was fire, hungry, affirming, a release of all the tension we'd bottled up. We didn't go further. It wasn't about that. It was about the promise in his sigh against my lips, the way he murmured, "I've wanted this. God, Jamie, I've wanted this." We pulled back, foreheads touching, breaths mingling. "But the team," he whispered. "The scouts. My family's expecting." "I know." I traced his jaw, memorizing the stubble. "We'll be careful. This stays ours until you're ready." He nodded, pulling me into his chest, and we fell asleep like that, tangled in the quiet, the world outside none the wiser. It felt like the start of something epic, a love story scripted for the big screens, with us as the unlikely heroes. Summer break tested us. I went home to Detroit, him to LA, but the texts flew like shuttlecocks. Photos of empty beaches captioned "Missing my shadow." Voice memos of him humming old Springsteen tunes that made my chest ache. When fall rolled around, practices resumed with a vengeance, and so did we. Stolen moments in the equipment shed, fingers interlaced under the table at team dinners. He came out to me fully one rainy afternoon in the Arboretum, rain pattering on the leaves like applause. "I'm gay, Jamie. Have been since high school. But soccer is my ticket out. Can't risk it." I held him as he shook, promising we'd navigate it together. "You're my hero, Alex. On and off the field. We'll make it work." And for a while we did. He scored the winning goal against Penn State, dedicating it to my lucky charm with a wink only I caught. We dreamed aloud about postgrad life. Him in the pros, me writing his bio, a quiet wedding in the Up with Lake Superior as witness. It was romantic, heady, the kind of love that made the Midwest winters bearable. But heroes have shadows, and Alex's started creeping in around mid-season. He'd pull away during away games, eyes darting when teammates got too rowdy. Just paranoid, he'd say, brushing it off with a kiss. I believed him because I wanted to, because loving him meant trusting the man behind the myth. Little did I know, the myth was cracking wide open. October deepened, leaves turning the campus into a blaze of crimson and gold. But the air between Alex and me grew thicker, laced with unspoken storms. We'd hit a rough patch in the schedule, back-to-back losses to ranked teams, and the pressure mounted like a vice. Coach Harlan rode us harder, his clipboard a weapon, barking about focus and commitment, while the athletic department whispered about nil deals and draft projections. Alex, ever the anchor, shouldered it all, but I saw the toll. The way his smiles faltered, how he'd stare at his phone during warm-ups like it held indictments. One crisp Saturday after a gritty draw with Indiana, we escaped to Nichols Arboretum, the Nick, as locals called it, where trails wound through ancient oaks like veins of the earth. It was our spot, a hidden glade where the world felt far away, perfect for picnics of stolen cafeteria sandwiches and dreams spun from dandelion fluff. I spread out a blanket, the kind with frayed edges from too many laundromats, and unpacked the thermos of spiked cider I'd smuggled from the grad lounge. "Escape artist," he teased, settling beside me, his head dropping to my shoulder. The sun filtered through the canopy, dappling his face in light that made him look almost ethereal, like one of those Renaissance paintings in the museum we'd wandered once, hands brushing in the shadows of Caravaggio. "Only for you?" I murmured, pouring him a cup. We clinked plastic lids, the ritual grounding us. "Rough week." He sipped, eyes on the horizon where the Huron glimmered like fool's gold. "Dad called. Again. Says the family's counting on me. Big league contract means stability, the house in Echo Park, all that." His voice dipped, laced with the weight of expectations. "He doesn't know about. Thinks I'm still sowing wild oats with girls." I squeezed his hand, calluses rough from endless volleys. "One day, when the time's right." "But when?" He turned, vulnerability cracking his facade. "I love you, Jamie. More than the game, even. But this hiding, it's eating me alive." The words hung, heavy as the acorns crunching underfoot. I pulled him close, our lips meeting in a kiss that tasted of cider and desperation. Slow, reaffirming, a balm against the chill. "Then let's stop hiding. Just a little. Tell one person, me, you, and say the team chaplain. Baby steps." He laughed, a sound like breaking glass, but nodded. "Yeah, baby steps." That night, emboldened, we risked more. At the post-game bonfire on the diagonal Michigan's diagram, that sprawling green heart of campus where protests and parties bled into one, we sat shoulder to shoulder amid the roar of flames and frat chants. The team was loose, beers flowing from a rogue keg, stories escalating into legend. When someone ribbed Alex about his mystery muse, he glanced at me, a spark in his eye, and slung an arm around my shoulders. "This guy's it. Keeps me grounded." The group hooted, assuming bromance, but his thumb traced circles on my collarbone, hidden but electric. My pulse raced. It felt like progress, a crack of light in the closet door. But progress has pitfalls. The next week brought Becca back. Not studying abroad after all, but visiting for homecoming. Her Instagram a blitz of couple-y poses that twisted my gut. Alex swore it was optics. Dad's in town, scouts watching. But seeing them at the tailgate, her hand on his arm, laughter forced but loud, chipped at my resolve. I nursed a solo cup of watery punch on the fringes, chatting with underclassmen, when Tyler, our cocky midfielder, sidled up. "Yo, Harlan, you good? Look like you swallowed a lemon." Tyler was straight as an arrow but harmless, the kind of guy who high-fived everyone, no questions asked. "Fine, just team stress." I forced a grin, eyes flicking to Alex, who met my gaze across the fire pit, mouthing sorry. Tyler followed my stare, smirking. "Rivera's got that girl on lock again. Dude's a machine, soccer god by day, Casanova by night. You think he's for real with her?" My laugh came out brittle. "Who knows with Alex? He's full of surprises." The bonfire crackled on, but the warmth didn't reach me. Later, in the shadows of the Alumni Center, Alex pulled me aside, Becca distracted by selfies. It's nothing, he insisted, hands framing my face. She's a friend. Cover. You know that. I do. But doubt had seeded, a weed in the garden of us. We kissed fiercely then, against the brick wall cool with ivy, his body pressing mine like an apology. It was enough to quiet the storm, for a night. Homecoming weekend peaked with the big game against Michigan State. Our rivals, the Spartans, green and mean under those floodlights at Michigan Stadium. Alex was a beast, weaving through their defense like smoke, assisting 2 goals before halftime. I subbed in late, third quarter, legs jelly from nerves, but managed a solid clear that drew cheers. As the whistle blew on our 3-1 win, the crowd erupted, maize and blue confetti raining like blessings. In the locker room euphoria, hugs turned sloppy, slaps echoing off tiles. Alex bear hugged me longest, whispering, "My hero today," hot against my ear. We slipped out early, high on victory, heading to his place for a private celebration. Pizza from Cottage Inn, a bootleg stream of the postgame show muted on TV. Curled on the couch, his head in my lap, I ran fingers through his damp hair. That assist in the 72nd? Pure magic. He tilted up, eyes soft. Team effort. But you're my real win, Jamie. His hand slid up my thigh, innocent but intimate, and we made out lazy, the kind of slow burn that spoke volumes. No rush, just us, building a future in touches and truths. But truths have a way of fracturing under pressure. Monday brought scouts, real ones, from MLS teams, suits mingling with the smell of fresh-cut grass. Coach pulled Alex for a closed door, emerging with a grin that said, "Golden ticket." Over lunch at the Union, he buzzed about it. "LAFC, Jamie. Home. We could make it work, you transfer or I commute. It's happening." Excitement warred with my unease. That's huge. But the coming out? Still on the table. His fork paused midair. After the draft. Promise. Can't tank it now. I nodded, swallowing the lump. Okay. For you. The week blurred into intensity. Film sessions, weight room grinds, Alex's star ascending while I chronicled it for the paper. My byline next to his glory shots. But cracks spiderwebbed. He'd cancel our Nick walks for extra reps. Texts growing curt. One night, post-practice, I waited by his Jeep, hood up against the drizzle. "Rough day," I asked as he approached, bag slung low. He sighed, unlocking the door. "Becca's pushing. Wants to go public for her sorority rush or some shit. Told her no, but..." Jealousy flared, hot and irrational. "And me? Am I just the side hustle?" His face crumpled. "Jamie, stop. You're everything." He yanked me into the cab, rain sheeting the windows, and we argued. Low voices, accusations flying like errant passes. "You think this is easy?" My agent's breathing down my neck. "Clean image, Alex. No scandals." "And I'm the scandal?" Tears stung, but I blinked them back. "No. God, no." He cupped my cheek, thumb brushing a stray drop. "You're my heart, but I can't lose this shot. Not when it's for us." We made up in the tangle of his back seat. Kisses fierce with forgiveness, bodies aligning in silent vow. Driving home, wipers slashing the downpour, I clung to hope. Heroes falter. That's what makes them human. Yet humanity has its betrayals. The first hint came mid-month, a whispered rumor from Tyler at the training table. Heard Rivera's got a girl in Toledo, some cheerleader, keeping it low-key. I laughed it off, jealous bullshit, but it lodged like a thorn. Confronted him that evening over FaceTime, his hotel room in Ohio for an away scout meet. "It's nothing. Old hookup, Prius. Swear." I believed because love demands faith, but faith frays when pulled too tight. The injury game loomed, a must-win against Northwestern, stakes sky-high for playoff seeding. Practices were brutal, Alex pushing limits, me shadowing as his spotter in drills. The night before, we holed up in my dorm, midterm notes scattered like fallen soldiers. "Win tomorrow, and it's nationals bound," he said, sprawled on my twin bed, feet dangling off. With you leading? No doubt. I straddled his waist, playful, stealing a kiss that deepened into heat. We talked futures again. Coastal life, a dog named Scout, rings exchanged under palm trees. As he left, hugging me fierce in the hall, he whispered, "Love you, Jay. Always." The field next day was electric. Stands packed with alums in Letterman jackets. The big house annex thrumming. Halftime tied 1-1. Mud slick underfoot from morning rain. Second half, Alex dominated, threading a pass to our striker for the go-ahead. Then, the counterattack, Spartan forward barreling, Alex diving in, studs flying. The crack echoed. His scream, my world tilting. Sirens wailed in my ears long after the ambulance vanished down Stadium Boulevard, swallowed by the sprawl of an Arbor's grid. The team milled in stunned silence, coach's face ashen under the stadium's glare. While I stood rooted, phone clutched like a lifeline. Texts to Alex went unread, calls straight to voicemail. "Give him space, Harlan?" Coach clapped my shoulder, mistaking my vigil for teammate loyalty. "Kid's tough. You'll see him tomorrow." But space was the last thing I wanted. I drove to UM Hospital in a daze, the radio droning post-game analysis that praised Alex's heroic effort, like it was just another stat line. The ER waiting room smelled of antiseptic and despair, fluorescent buzz mocking the festive banners for upcoming homecoming. Nurses shuttled past, charts in hand, and I paced, replaying the foul. Legal, but vicious, his ankle buckling unnaturally. Hours ticked by 3, 4 until a doc emerged, scrubbing hands raw. "Rivera? Family only, but you're on the list." Relief flooded. He'd added me. In the room, Alex lay elevated, for dripping, face pale against the crisp sheets. "Jamie," he croaked, managing a half-smile. "Overreacted. Just a sprain. Out a week, tops." I sank into the vinyl chair, grasping his hand. "Scared the hell out of me." Thought. "Nah." He squeezed back. "Takes more than a bad roll to bench the Phantom." We talked softly, morphine slurring his words, about the game, the goal, avoiding the elephant of what this meant for Scouts, for us. "Stay," he murmured, eyes heavy. "Wild horses couldn't drag me." I curled beside him, careful of tubes, our fingers laced till dawn crept through blinds. Morning brought clarity and chaos. X-rays confirmed. High ankle sprain, 6 weeks minimum. The team rallied. Flowers from the AD, care packages from alums. But the whispers started. Draft stock dipped. Who's stepping up? Alex played it cool, posting a thumbs up from his hospital bed. But I saw the fracture lines, the way his jokes rang hollow. Discharge day, I drove him home, his Jeep too clunky for crutches. Becca showed. Uninvited, all blonde waves and concern. Bearing smoothies and a stuffed Wolverine. "Babe, I was so worried." She air-kissed his cheek, perching on the futon arm like she owned it. Alex stiffened beside me on the couch. "Thanks, Bex. Jamie here's been my rock." His hand found my knee, subtle, but she clocked it, brow arching. The afternoon dragged, her chatter filling voids. Sorority gossip, tailgate plans. While I bit my tongue, fetching ice packs like a ghost. When she left, promising daily visits, Alex deflated. "PR move. Dad insisted." "She's poison ivy," I muttered, rubbing his shoulders. "Chafes everyone." He chuckled, pulling me down for a kiss. Grateful, grounding. "You're my antidote." Recovery blurred days into a rhythm. PT sessions at the Sports Med Center. Me quizzing him on bio notes while he iced. We leaned into domesticity. Cooking disasters in his kitchen, burnt quesadillas became our specialty. Binging Friday Night Lights marathons, debating plot twists till laughter echoed off walls. It was romantic in its mundanity, the injury stripping away the field's armor, revealing the man beneath. But mundanity breeds boredom, and boredom invites temptation. One evening, mid-November chill frosting windows, Tyler dropped by unannounced, six-pack in tow. "Rivera, figured you'd need cheering up." He plopped down, cracking beers, oblivious to the tension as Alex shot me an apologetic glance. We bullshitted team drama, fantasy leagues until Tyler leaned in, voice low. Heard from a buddy at state. That foul? Not clean. Their coaches paying off refs for payback on last year's finals. Alex's crutch clattered. Bullshit. Game's game. Nah, man. And get this, your girl's spilling tea. Says you're stressed. From personal stuff. Tyler winked, meaning Becca's loose lips. My stomach nodded. After he left, I confronted the air. What personal stuff? Alex sighed, crutches thumping to the bedroom. She knows. About us. Sort of. Overheard a call. Swore her to secrecy. And you trust that? Fury bubbled, irrational but real. More than most. He sank onto the bed, defeated. Jamie, please. This injury's bad enough without us fighting. I softened, joining him, apologies dissolving into embraces. But trust, once chipped, doesn't mend clean. The betrayal brewed slow, like a storm over the Great Lakes. Playoffs loomed without Alex. Me thrust into starting lineup. Terror and thrill in equal measure. First game sans him. A nail-biter against Rutgers, my assist sealing a 2-1 win. Post-game, locker room buzzed. Coach slapped my back. Harlan's got fire. Alex texted fireworks emojis. Pride beaming through pixels. But Becca escalated. She inserted herself into visits. Tagging along to PT, her presence a thorn. One afternoon, waiting outside, I overheard her on the phone. Yeah, he's devastated. But it's for the best. Clears his head for the draft. Laughter tinkled, sharp as glass. Inside, I seethed, but held it till she bounced. What the hell, Alex? She's playing you. He waved it off, focused on reps. Family pressure. Let it go. I can't. The words escaped. Raw. Feels like we're slipping. He paused, weights clanking down. Then fight for us. Come to the draft party. Show em you're my brother in arms. The invite stung. Brother. Not boyfriend. But I nodded, clinging to scraps. Mid-December. Snow blanketing campus like a hush. The team clinched semis without him. Celebrations at the Brown Jug. Alehouse walls papered in May's glory. And there was Alex, crutches propped, toasting from a corner booth. Becca on his lap, performative. But his eyes sought mine across the foam. A silent help. I slid in opposite, playing along. To underdogs, I raised my pint, foot nudging his undertable, a code. To heroes, he echoed, gaze locking, electric. Becca chattered on, oblivious, but Tyler, beside me, muttered, dude's got secrets. Saw him with that Toledo chick last month. Motel off I-75. Coincidence. Ice in my veins. Rumors. Nah. Pics on Snapchat. Deleted quick. But, he trailed, shrugging. The pub spun. I excused myself, bursting into the alley, snowflakes melting on hot cheeks. Betrayal? Or test? Alex found me later, limping through drifts. Jamie? Talk. I whirled. Toledo. Explain. His face drained. It wasn't. Becca set it up. PR date for Dad's visit. Nothing happened. Liar. Tears froze on lashes. Ty saw pics. Pics? Shit. He grabbed my arm. Jamie. Believe me. I love you. This is survival. Survival. The word gutted me. At what cost? We argued in the snow, voices muffled by flurries, until exhaustion won. Back at his place, we thawed with hot cocoa, words tumbling. Fears, futures, the fragility of us. I'm sorry, he repeated, holding me through the night. Draft soon. Then freedom. I wanted to believe. God, I did. Christmas break split us, me to Detroit's steel gray skies, him to LA's sun. Calls crackled with static, both literal and emotional. Miss you, he'd say, ocean waves crashing behind. Come out after semis? Try stopping me. But doubt lingered, a shadow on the line. Semis in Columbus. Frozen pitch, breaths clouding. I started, nerves stealing into focus, scoring off a rebound, my first career goal. Roars deafened. Alex's FaceTime from Cali screamed loudest, That's my boy. Finals berth secured, euphoria peaked. But Becca's text hit like a slide tackle. Congrats, Jamie. Alex mentioned you're like family. See you at the watch party? XO. Family. The knife twisted. Back in Ann Arbor pre-finals cram. Alex returned, brace off, gait improving. We reunited at the airport, hug fierce amid baggage claim bustle. Missed this. He breathed, lips brushing ear. In his Jeep, hands wandered, thigh squeezes, promises whispered. Home, we tumbled into bed, clothes shedding like old skins, bodies reconnecting in urgent, affirming rhythm. No rush to extremes. Just skin on skin, heartbeats sinking, reaffirming what words couldn't. Lying spent, his head on my chest, he traced my ribs. After draft, no more hiding. You and me, Jay, against the world. I kissed his crown. Promise. Swear on the field. Bliss fragile as January thaw. Then the storm broke. Draft eve, team watch party at coach's. Steaks grilling, tension thick as cigar smoke. Suits mingled, agents schmoozing. Alex, dapper and buttoned down, arm around Becca for show, but winking at me across the deck. TV flickered, ESPN, bright lights of the combine. His name flashed, projected top 15. Cheers erupted. Hugs crushed ribs. Then his phone buzzed, private line. He stepped away, voice low. I followed, casual, heart pounding. Yeah, Dad. It's handled. Becca's solid. Keeps the narrative clean. Pause. No, the other thing's buried. That guy's just a friend. Teammate hype. Guy. Other thing. Buried. I froze in shadow, world tilting. Him pacing, oblivious. Love you too. Big night. He hung, turning straight into my horror. Jamie. Friend. Voice cracked. Hype. Face ashen. Eavesdropping? It's not. Save it. I backed away, deck lights blurring. You're a liar. Wait. He lunged, crutches forgotten, grabbing my sleeve. Guests milled, unaware. Please, let me explain. Explain what? That I'm disposable? Tears hot, furious. Thought you were my hero. I am. Desperation cracked. For us, this is the last. No. I wrenched free, storming into night, snow swallowing steps. He didn't follow. That hurt worst. The draft unfolded without me. A spectacle I watched from my dorm. Alone with a six-pack and spite. ESPN's green room glittered. Suits, smiles, mom's dabbing eyes. While Alex's name lit up at pick 12. LAFC snatching their phantom. Cheers exploded on TV. His hug with dad beamed nationwide. Becca's kissed the cherry on the All-American Sunday. No mention of the benchwarmer who'd mended his wounds, held his secrets. I killed the set, bottle shattering against wall, shards like my resolve. Texts flooded, Jamie, please, call me. Voicemails, raw please. It was for show. Dad's old school, can't drop it cold. Semis first, then we talk. I deleted, blocked, curled into silence. Finals loomed, papers due, but focus fled. Tyler cornered me at the union. Heard you bailed on the party. Rivera's wrecked. Asking about you nonstop. Good. Lie tasted bitter. Deserves it. Tyler eyed me sharp. You too. Closer than bros. Huh? Saw the looks. My laugh barked. Mind your passes, Ty. He shrugged, but seed planted. Rumors swirled. Whispers in the weight room about Harlan's beef with the star. Coach called me in. Door shut. Son, team's family. Whatever's eating you, bury it. Finals, births, ours. Family. I echoed hollow. Right? Playoffs consumed us. Quarters in freezing East Lansing. Me starting, channeling rage into runs. We won 2-0, my header off a corner the decider. Post-game, Alex's congrats text pierced my silence. Proud of you, Jay. Always. I stared, thumb hovering, ache raw. Finals weekend. Dome in Atlanta. Neutral turf but electric charge. Team flew south, palms swaying like taunts. Alex joined, guest of honor, brace-free LAFC hat cocked. Air crackled when he boarded. Eyes seeking mine across aisle. I buried in headphones, Drake's beats drowning please. Hotel check-in, he cornered me in hall. Jamie. 5 minutes. Bruised but standing, I nodded. His room, suite upgrade, champagne chilling. Look. He started pacing. The call eavesdropped context. Dad grilled about distractions. Becca's the shield. And I'm the threat? Arms crossed. No. He closed distance, hands raised. You're my future. That night. Panicked. But draft's done. I'm out. To everyone. Hope flickered, treacherous. Prove it. He pulled a USB from pocket, email drafts to agent, coming out statement polished. Releasing post-championship. If we win. If. The word hung. Then believe me. His kiss begged, desperate, familiar. I resisted. Then caved. Bodies crashing in forgiveness's fury. It was reclaiming, reaffirming a bridge over chasm. Us. He panted after tangled sheets. No more games. Semis. Versus UCLA. Irony's thick. Dome thrummed. 20K strong. Alex in stands. LAFC scouts beside. Ironic entourage. I played possessed. Assists flowing. But second half foul. Elbow to ribs. Breath stolen. Down 1-0, clock ticking. Timeout. Coach's fire. Harlan. Dig deep. Eyes met Alex's across field. Green anchors. I nodded for us. Final minutes, corner kick. Ball arcs, I leap, header, net ripple. Tie. T. Penalties. Heart in throat, I step up fifth, top corner, keeper dives wrong. Win. Roars swallow me. Team's pylon crushes. Locker room delirium. But my eyes sought him. Alex pushed through, crutches ditched, hugging fierce. My hero? Whispered, lips brushing ear. Becca lurked. Wait, what? She'd flown in, arm looped his. Babe. Epic. Pull away, confusion sour. What the? PR. He mouthed. But she clung. Flashing peace signs for Fodigs. Revulsion surged. I showered cold. Emerging to empty hall. His text. Meet roof? Truth time. Rooftop bar. City lights sprawling. He waited alone. Becca ditched for girls' night. Read this. He shoved phone. Message to her, we're done. For real. Love Jamie. Relief washed. Finally. Embrace followed. Tight. Tear-streaked. Out tomorrow. Presser with coach. Scared. I traced his jaw. Terrified. Smile crooked. But free. We talked till stars wheeled. Plans. Pains. The humanistic grind of love's labor. You're my anchor, Jay. Soccer's the field. You're home. Championship Eve versus Stanford. Do or die. Nerves jangled breakfast. Alex joined drills. Motivational ghost. Visualize. He coached. Hands steadying my stance. Game dawn. Dome alive. Confetti cannons primed. First half even 1-1. My goal, redemption arc halftime. His note slipped in locker. Win for us. Forever yours, A. Second half war. Cards fly, legs cramp. 88th minute, down 2-1. Counter, I sprint, cross finds striker, equalizer. Elation. Injury time. Free kick, 30 yards. Alex's voice and head. Curve it, phantom style.
Boot connects Bender, keeper flails, net.
3-2. Whistle. Champions. Pandemonium. Trophy lift. Tears mixing sweat. Alex storms field, unauthorized, but who cares? Scooping me mid-celebration. We did it. Fodigs flash. Whispers ripple. Becca? Nowhere. Presser. Coach at podium. Team flanking. Alex steps up, mic trembling. One more thing. Personal. Breath steady. I'm gay. And proud. Thanks to a special someone who showed me courage. As find mine. Jamie Harlan. Gasps, then applause, tentative, then thunderous. Hugs cascade. Tyler grins. Knew it, bro. Outside, media swarm, but we slip away. Hotel shadows, hands clasped. Free, he breathes. But freedom's price. Backlash brewed. Dad's call that night, voicemail fury. Disgrace. Contract in jeopardy. Becca's texts. You'll regret this. I leaked Toledo for your own good to test him. Test? The word ignited. She set up the motel thing? Alex paled, phone dropping. What? No. Her message. To me. Test. Realization dawned, horror etching. That night, she arranged the date, fed Tyler the rumor. To push you away for Dad's image. Betrayal double-edged. You knew. Guessed. Too coincidental. But I stayed silent, hoping it'd fade. Rage boiled. Silent? While I broke. Forgive me. He knelt metaphoric, raw. I was scared. Of losing you, the dream. Punch landed. You almost did. Twice. We shattered then. Yells echoing hall, security glancing. I chose wrong. He admitted, voice breaking. Safety over soul.
You chose fear.
I backed toward door. I can't be your regret. Jamie. Door clicked shut. Final as a red card. Dawn found me wandering Atlanta streets. Championship ring heavy on finger. Heart leaden. Team bus revved. I boarded numb. Excuses mumbled. Flight home silent, trophy mocking from overhead. An arbor welcomed gray. Snow melting to slush. Campus stirring for winter break. Dorm empty, I packed. Transfer apps half-filled. Journalism dreams dimmed. Tyler knocked. Party tonight? Celebrate. Nah. Jet lag. He lingered. Rivera's a mess. Asking forgiveness. You too. Real deal. Was. Lie smaller now. He nodded, wise beyond years. Love's a contact sport. Bruises heal. Bruises. Mine festered. Break home. Detroit's factories hummed. Dad's diner shifts endless. Proud son, he said over eggs, clipping my article. Harlan's heroics. But eyes searched. That Rivera kid trouble? Old news. New Year's Eve. Alone with fireworks on TV. Phone buzzed. Unknown. Becca. He told me everything. I'm sorry. For the lies. He loves you fiercely. Don't let fear win. Delete. But seed fear. LA called. Alex's texts unblocked. Please evolving therapy. Coming out solo. Miss your voice. Links to articles. His interview. Raw on closet costs. Crediting a love that saved me. Saved. The word pulled. Spring thaw. Campus bloomed. Me subbing less. Writing more. Piece on queer athletes' shadows. Cathartic bleed. Team nationals hangover faded. Offers trickled. Grad programs. Sports desks. April, his flight landed. Unannounced. Duffel slung. Nick wait. Blanket spread, same glade. Hear me out. Voice hoarse. I sat. Distant. One shot. He poured. Therapy revelations. Dad's slow thaw. He's trying. Called you good man. Becca's exile. I betrayed us. For ghosts. But you're no ghost, Jamie. Your life. Tears tracked his cheeks. I forgive. I whispered. But trust? Rebuild slow. Whatever it takes. Hand extended. I took. Roots deepening. Summer beckoned. Joint internship at ESPN. Coastal promise. Not perfect. Scars linger. But in that glade under budding oaks we kissed, tentative then true. Heroes fall. Lovers rise. Rebuilding wasn't linear. It was a series of stutter steps and side tackles. Much like the game that had both forged and fractured us. By summer swelter, Alex and I had carved out a tentative rhythm. Weekends in LA, where his rookie training camp bled into sun-soaked beaches, and me crashing on his abuela's couch, her churros a silent benediction. She knew, had always known, her eagle eyes missing nothing, and welcomed me with hugs that smelled of cinnamon and sage, murmuring in Spanish. Mi nieto is lucky. Hold him tight, mijo. Dad met him over a tense Detroit barbecue. Grills smoking under July haze. Heard you on the radio? Pop grunted. Flipping burgers, eyes wary. Brave kid. Takes guts. Alex nodded. No bravado, just quiet respect. Two blue-collar souls sizing up. By dessert, they bonded over Tiger's woes. My hand in Alex's under the picnic table, a quiet victory. Campus fall brought distance. Me junior year, him MLS grind, but tech bridged. FaceTimes at dawn his time, midnight mine, dissecting goals and griefs. My article dropped in the daily. Out of the shadows. Love on the Line, anonymized but raw, earning campus buzz and a Queer Lit award. Alex framed it in his locker, talisman against hazing whispers from vets. Betrayal's echo lingered, though, in quiet moments, doubt whispered, what if the next scout calls? We talk it out, therapy apps shared, his session spilling. Fear's a defender, Jamie. Gotta juke it. Humanistic, messy. Love as mirror, reflecting flaws to polish. October marked anniversaries. Injury night, draft betrayal. We commemorated in Ann Arbor, stadium empty under harvest moon. Cleats on turf, ball between feet, we played one-on-one. Laughing, loose, goals traded like vows. Remember this spot? He panted, tackling gentle. How could I forget? I countered, stealing kiss mid-dribble. He scored, then pulled me down, grass-cool cradle. That scream? Not just pain. Fear of losing you, of the lie crumbling. I traced his scar, faint now. It did, and we rebuilt. Stars wheeled. We dreamed aloud. His all-star nod, my byline in SI. A life woven not despite soccer, but through it. Winter brought trials. His first pro slump, goals drying like Michigan drought. Media hounded, sophomore curse, and old ghost stirred. Becca resurfaced, LinkedIn congrats masking venom. Miss our charade? Blocked mutual. Worse, family fracture. Dad's visit to LA imploded, homophobic uncle spewing at Thanksgiving. Alex walking out mid-prayer. Can't fake it anymore, he confessed later, voice small online. But you make it worth it. I flew out, desert winds whipping palms. We hiked Runyon, city sprawling below like conquered foes. At summit sweat slick he dropped to knee, not ring but key. Apartment lease our names. Build with me. Tears salt on lips. Yes. Spring 2026. Nationals redux, me captaining sans him. He flew in incognito, hat low, cheering from bleachers. Win clinched me MVP, irony sweet. Post-game, on field under confetti blizzard, he emerged, no hiding. Kiss public, cameras whirring, but we didn't care. My champions, he grinned to Mike's. Backlash? Tweets flared. Agenda. But allies amplified. Glad spotlights, teammate endorsements. Tyler, out now himself, posted couple pic. Brothers to the end. Graduation June. May's gowns. My thesis on queer narratives in sports. Alex in stands beside Abuela. Dad clapping loudest. Diploma in hand. I found them hugs, toasts at the pretzel bell, beers foaming futures. Post-college. I landed ESPN desk, New York buzz, but commuted weekends west. He rose, hat trick versus galaxy, headlines blending hero and heart. We bought rings quiet, silver bands etched with soccer balls and dates, exchanged on Malibu sands at sunset, waves applauding. Years blurred, his all-star start, my book deal, Phantom's Shadow, A Love in Cleats, bestseller in queer sports lit. Challenges came, relocation rumors, my byline envy, but we juked stronger. 10th anniversary, Ann Arbor return, stadium rented private. Cleats on, ball kicked, then dinner at Zingerman's, same booth, wiser eyes. Thought you were hero once. I toasted, hand in his. Still am, he winked. But you're the heart. Outside, Huron whispered. Stars punched sky. Betrayal's scar faded, humanistic truth. Love isn't flawless fields, but the grit between. Falls, rises, enduring. We walked home, fingers laced, future open as midfield. No losing, only winning together.